In 2006, Leonardo DiCaprio sat down with The Independent and dropped his list of favorite films. And let's just say his picks will definitely surprise some fans. While you might expect a few modern blockbusters, Leo's taste skews way more old school. We're talking cinema classics. So let's dive into 10 of DiCaprio's perfect films. You can't talk about Italian cinema without mentioning Bicycle Thieves. Directed by Vittorio De Sica, this film captured the harsh reality of post-war Italy like nothing else. Leo's a huge fan, and honestly, who wouldn't be? The story of a man desperately trying to get his stolen bike back, with his son watching his every move, is heartbreaking. Legendary director Sergio Leone worked as an assistant on this film and even had a cameo. Considered one of the best films ever made, it influenced countless filmmakers, including Scorsese, who recommended it to Leo. It's no surprise that a Scorsese classic made Leo's list. Taxi Driver is the ultimate tale of alienation and descent into madness, starring Robert De Niro as the iconic Travis Bickle. Leo was just 15 when he first watched it, and it left him floored. He said the film had him locked into Travis's journey, feeling empathy right up until the moment it flips, and he realized Travis was far from the person he thought he was. DiCaprio even called it the greatest independent film ever made. If Leo says it, we're not arguing. If you're gonna pick an epic, it might as well be Lawrence of Arabia. This film isn't just beautiful to look at, it's a masterclass in storytelling. Leo's not the only one who calls it a favorite. You can thank this epic for inspiring directors like Spielberg, Kubrick, and of course, Scorsese. Steven Spielberg once said it's the movie that made him want to be a filmmaker. The sweeping desert landscapes, Peter O'Toole's iconic performance, it's got everything a classic needs. If you haven't seen it yet, you're missing out on one of the most visually stunning films of all time. Stanley Kubrick's The Shining is a horror film that's just as famous for its behind-the-scenes drama as it is for its terrifying imagery. With the first extensive use of the Steadicam and Jack Nicholson's totally unhinged performance, it's no wonder this film leaves such a lasting impact. Stephen King famously hated this adaptation, but DiCaprio is a big fan. He's even admitted that the twins in The Shining scare the life out of him. East of Eden is James Dean's final heart-wrenching performance, and it left a major mark on a young Leonardo DiCaprio. Based on John Steinbeck's novel, this retelling of the Cain and Abel story is set during World War I and packed with biblical imagery. DiCaprio has said time and again that Dean's raw vulnerability in East of Eden made him obsessed with movies and has influenced him throughout his career. Federico Fellini's 8.5 is another on Leo's list. The film is about a director dealing with a massive creative block, and in true Fellini style, it blurs the lines between reality, fantasy, and memory. This film is loved by virtually everyone from David Lynch and Martin Scorsese to famous film critic Roger Ebert, and even Fellini himself said it was one of his favorite works. Leo knows a masterpiece when he sees one, and 8.5 is absolutely one of them. It's trippy, it's introspective, and it's basically required viewing for anyone who loves movies about the creative process. Post-war Vienna, shadowy alleyways, and Orson Welles. The Third Man is all about mood, and it's got plenty of it. Leo's a huge fan, and it's easy to see why. From the unforgettable zither score to Welles's legendary cuckoo clock speech, this film is a masterclass in atmosphere. It was voted the greatest British film of all time by the British Film Institute, and even Akira Kurosawa cited The Third Man as one of his 100 favorite films. If you love a good mystery, this one's a must-watch. And speaking about Kurosawa, Yojimbo is one of those films that influenced not just Japanese cinema, but also Westerns, and even Hollywood heavyweights like DiCaprio love it. It follows a nameless samurai who rolls into a town controlled by rival crime lords, and he's here to clean house. You'll recognize the plot if you've seen A Fistful of Dollars or Last Man Standing, both of which were remakes, with Clint Eastwood and Bruce Willis in the lead roles. Scorsese has also praised Yojimbo, particularly Toshiro Mifune's performance, calling it layered and complex, and comparing him to Baryshnikov for his graceful power. Shot in black and white and set to a Gershwin score, Manhattan is Woody Allen's love letter to New York. He stars as a twice-divorced writer who can't commit to anyone in his life, whether it's the teenage Mariel Hemingway or the dazzling Diane Keaton. While DiCaprio loves this movie, Alan himself hated it so much that he offered to direct another film for free just to keep Manhattan from being released. Funnily enough, it ended up being the most commercially successful film of his career. Alan is still in disbelief that he got away with it. Sunset Boulevard is a dark, cynical look at the way Hollywood chews people up and spits them out. The film is narrated by a dead man telling the story of his own downfall, and Gloria Swanson steals the show as a faded movie star, clinging to her past glory. Nominated for 11 Academy Awards and winning 3, this film is often considered one of the greatest ever made.